Public service announcement. This is how to speculate about something without being a smug bitch. Welcome to a very special episode of Episodes. Redundant.
Is it special?
It is special because in this episode, I'm going to say that I'm Jango and he's Razor.
That is special. We've been forgetting to do that. And apparently, every once in a while, we do get a new listener who leaves a comment like, I can't tell whose voice is whose.
How long have you been here?
And
I'm Razor.
Happen again.
He's Jango.
That you parade about as if you're the divine
Yes.
power in the universe.
Is that your name, or did I get it right?
I am Jango.
Okay, all right.
I am actually Jango.
I wanted to make sure.
And this is Loki.
This is Loki. This is episode 2 of the Disney Plus show Loki. This is our commentary for episode 2.
This is
of Loki.
Our very first commentary take.
Absolutely, the first take. We have not had any problems recording.
I never fuck up the stream ever.
Never. Not a once.
Not even once.
Perfect every time. One take Jango, that's what they call you.
Flawless victories all day.
If Stanley Kubrick had worked with you, would have changed his entire career.
I'm starting to think you might be being facetious.
No,
this is suspect.
Me at my most honest. I've never been more sincere.
Man, Tim told me the other day that we've been doing the Warrior Shrine for 7 fucking years.
Jeez, I was trying to think how long it's been.
It's way too long for me to make those stupid mistakes.
7 years.
7 years.
Of this bullshit.
Let's not think about that too long, though. I don't like it.
People wonder why it's been so long since we did an episode about Mortal Kombat. It's because I've been thinking about Mortal Kombat every day for 7 years.
Yeah, it's a thing, man.
Sometimes you get burnt out.
You do. Variety's okay. And listen, some of us need this.
That's apropos.
That lady, like, man, she really sums it up well, I think.
I feel it.
Going into this ominous AF place.
It's a little spooky. I feel like these guys weirdly ill-equipped for it's just a dark tent.
They no flashlights?
Yeah, they could have had flashlights, some kind of scanning device that can tell you who's in the tent. Aren't these guys supposed to be from the future or another dimension that's incredibly high tech?
TBD.
Yeah,
it's unclear.
Didn't we just spend the first episode establishing that the Time Variance Authority are the gods of the universe? And
basic something like that. Yes.
So why are their soldiers such jobbers?
It's sometimes jobbers got a job. I do like this other Loki's abilities here to do this Doomsday bot shit where she can possess shit. They can be possessed, but she can still do shit over here.
On the subject of the variance body hopping, I'm gonna save what I have to say for the end of the episode so I don't spoil some stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But it is important to note that this Loki has the power to possess people, because our Loki doesn't do that.
That's very true.
So, lot of needing a hero in media this month. Have you noticed
Hasn't
that?
it been?
This is like the third thing I've seen use that song in recent weeks.
There was He-Man as well, and
yeah, there was the He-Man trailer. I'm trying to remember what the third thing was. Was it a video game thing?
The Guardians of the Galaxy game. That's what it was.
Yes, that's what it was.
Very bad things.
Come on, Loki.
Everybody's using that song.
Hang on, I gotta fix my headphones. This is tight. I like her.
Sven. Okay.
Miss Minutes.
Right, and that would
Fucking Tara Strong over here.
and the collapse of reality as we know it.
Inevitably going to be in every TV show on Earth.
Recording, or are you alive?
She...
Word of both.
I think she consumes other voice actors to steal their roles.
Holy shit. That's a little inside baseball. And depressing. It's in the computer. I like that right here. She marks it. It says test failed on the computer screen. These coats are available somewhere for purchase right now. I've seen them.
Is that true, or
Yes.
are you assuming?
No. I've seen it. I don't know where the people got it from, but I've seen people with it.
Interesting.
They jumped into the 1985 branch.
So go look for that, everyone.
Well, that would be an effective advertisement for this merchandise.
It would be.
If you do wear.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, I'm not advertising. I don't see.
Look, that's not your responsibility. That's Disney's job.
It is. Put an ad up there,
They
man.
could leverage their multimedia empire to let us know where to get these jackets if they really wanted. It would be easy for them.
If anyone watching this knows, feel free to post it in the comments.
Only hope of capturing a murderer.
No, a cosmic mistake.
I might like to know.
Here's the deal. When we get out,
This lady is so
just looking
mean.
time criminal.
Yeah, I don't like her.
It's you know.
I didn't like her last episode, and I still don't like her.
I
You
mean-
remember I said my favorite part of the episode was when Loki got the collar around her and kept rewinding and fast forwarding her.
This is fun. This shit's always fun.
Appearances.
I don't know why he's a soccer.
I want to know
Loki.
more about the universe where he became a soccer star.
Yeah, that looked tight. And
This one where he's like just the devil.
yeah, I guess that was a troll, the big one.
Yeah, I guess like a troll or an ogre or something.
Odin, Asgard went to war against the trolls, and he found a baby troll
Now-
ogre.
Here's my question.
Okay.
If there's only one timeline and variants are people who step off that path, how do you get these grown adult Lokis that have radically different forms like the ogre one?
That's a very good question.
Professor Loki.
Why?
Like what changed to his history would get you that guy?
There's a possibility, I suppose, of like before the TVA took over and started curating time. There were timelines that had already ran their course, and like they were multiverse shit back then. I think that she said something like
That
that.
could be the case.
And since then, they've gone and pruned all that shit, or whatever they call them.
We don't really know how long there's been a TVA.
No, we don't.
Like-
Loki tries to find out in this episode. It doesn't go so well.
Travel back to before the
Like the passage of time, when you're talking about time travelers who live outside of time,
Yeah,
it's like, are they 1,000 years old or 3 months old? How would you even know?
and that's the whole deal with the show. Like, in my personal opinion, I think this show, it's not going to change anything retroactively. The end of this thing, I think the show is going to end, and that's going to make for any and all changes that have happened since the beginning of the MCU.
on it. I watched the videos.
So
It is kind of an amusing idea to set up this like strictly structured thing and then immediately destroy it.
yes, it is a thing. Yeah.
He couldn't have gotten the jump on C12.
I think you underestimate, actually.
Fan out and search for her. And hurry up, because we're at 3 units until red line.
Because theoretically, like, I'm thinking about stuff like Captain America is a big one, but there's a lot of shit like that that's not necessarily something the TVA would crack down on or snip, but like,
Yeah,
no,
so, well, speaking of Captain America, that's something I was thinking of, and I think I brought it up on our Discord.
And in that scheme, I see.
So I was wondering if the TVA deletes other timelines, then how did Steve get away with living with Peggy in an alternate universe for 90 years at the end of Endgame?
Precisely. And that's one of the main reasons why I came up with what I said, to where...
You pointed out that the end of Endgame could be set after this show, because we're still only like... It's been an hour since Loki picked up the Tesseract.
Yeah.
And Steve didn't go back until after Tony's funeral, which could have been, like 3 days after they fought Thanos or something.
I mean, like, and that's the kind of thing you get when you have these outside of time type stories like this. Like, the effects, the resolution of this show could like have already happened and been in effect since, like I said, before the MCU started with Iron Man 1 or Captain Marvel or whatever the old shit was, Captain America. Like, if you break the sacred timeline down and get the TV out of there, all of time now has like the ability to make its own branches and to become another multiverse again. So time is weird like that. It's not a matter of having to like start here and then changes happen. No, changes can happen retroactively too. Theoretically.
Indeed.
It's kind of messy, but it's fun. Because
so speaking of branching timelines, we do find out a couple things in this scene. We find out what it means, the red line. Like, if a branch gets past the red line on their little screens, it means it's too late to delete it.
Yes.
And we get to see what their bombs do, because I was wondering about that in the first episode.
Now, Miss Minutes said that if that happens and you go beyond the red line, the whole universe is like dives into chaos, and the sacred timeline is destroyed, and all these other like giant things, which to me sounds like bullshit propaganda. I don't think that happens. Like, the universe is destroyed.
It's not immediately going to be a multiversal war the moment there's a second timeline.
To me,
so as we can see, these bombs only disintegrate stuff that's out of place.
Yes.
Like, they don't delete anything that's where it's supposed to be on the timeline.
Right.
So that's an important thing to keep in mind.
It is. These statues.
The bombs don't destroy anything. They just put stuff back where it goes.
They do.
Is it just me, or does this office keep getting better and better?
Theoretically, it is odd. Like, Mobius always says, "Well, that's an oversimplification."
You're not the only analyst working for me.
But yeah, generally speaking.
What would you say? Maybe I'm your favorite.
What's his lady's name?
Ravana.
Ravana, okay.
All the trophies from my cases in here. You don't think I'd love
in the comics,
up my cube?
And she doesn't actually show up that often in the comics. I mainly know her from the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon.
Mm.
She in that stuff, she is a princess from Kang the Conqueror's future, and his love interest.
Unpredictable.
That's right.
But in this show, she is a high-ranking member of the TVA, which
I remember you saying
suggests we might get to see Kang. Maybe he's even one of the Time Masters or whatever.
He could be. He could also be Mephisto.
Realize that
He's probably not Mephisto.
It could be. Well, no, I mean,
it's never going to be Mephisto.
Not literally. He could be a Mephisto.
Watch, they will avoid Mephisto so hard that they'll never do Ghost Rider.
They will. I would not be surprised at all. They carry on the thing. No, like Kang might be a thing where like they want you to expect a Kang thing somewhere. Kang's in here somewhere, man, but he's not. And he turns out to not even show up. That could be a thing. I don't know.
That is the part he plays on
I think we'll see Kang.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it. There's all kinds of weird shit, though. Mobius here could be Kang.
And then it shall be so.
Mobius could be Kang. That would be weird, but it's not impossible.
It is not impossible.
That could be a swerve that they pull. Yeah. You never know.
I like the line he says here in a minute, and especially because their relationship has like a slight tinge of flirtiness to me.
So do I.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's one-sided flirtiness, like he's flirting with her, and she doesn't care.
That could be the case. He says that thing here about like, oh, who's this other analyst you got on the side?
Or Slayer.
Maybe that other analyst could be Kang.
It's possible.
It's possible. Kang could just be another, like, working at the TBA, whatever type duder.
Stay focused.
Eyes on the road.
Mobius.
There's possibilities.
There
There's
is.
options.
And there's also the distinct possibility that he is a Loki variant.
Luckily, he believes in himself enough.
I wouldn't be that surprised.
Maybe Mobius is a Loki variant. Maybe Kang is a Loki variant. Maybe everybody in the TVA
It's
is
very
a Loki.
possible. That's the whole fun. It's kind of like a mini secret invasion. Some shit like that.
Oops, all Lokis.
We did. Ooh, I like. I'm buying it. Give me that shit. Breakfast of Champions, man. No, I'm pretty sure that Mephisto's gonna be a Loki variant too. I think that's gonna be the case.
Remember him?
I kind of doubt it.
I do too, but it's gonna be the case.
Honestly, that would feel uncreative.
Well, sure, maybe a little.
That's maybe too many Lokis.
Too many Lokis. I like that idea.
I know it's difficult to imagine there could be such a thing.
I know,
but
yeah. I know. I mean, but especially after seeing all those alt ones, I'm like, I don't know. Like that troll Loki. Maybe Odin and Asgard went to battle the fire demons in Muspelheim, and he found a baby fire demon, and he adopted it, and so it's Loki, but it looks like a fire demon, and then because it's Mephisto.
it could be anything.
It could be anything.
I'm 10 steps ahead of you. Playing a game of my own.
Loki really is into the idea of getting an audience with the Timekeepers.
Hustle them and seize control.
And boy, does Mobius know it. Yeah, it's
well,
everyone sees this shit.
Why are you in there sticking your neck out for me?
This is not exactly Loki's most
Whichever one you want.
original
As I see a
moment here. He's become predictable, and I think he's realizing that, and it's is pushing that character development.
Yeah, I mean, which makes sense. It took him a long time to get there in the actual MCU.
Yeah,
A long time.
Good, because I'm running out of it.
What's the step? The next step of your manipulation?
Final step, your last chance.
I'm looking forward to Loki not having like the reflexive thing of like, I want to overthrow and rule shit. Like, stop that. I like what the other Loki's doing better. Look at this elevator.
This is
And those statues, the Shadow Priests.
the Shadow Priest.
I mean, look at their hand gestures, sir.
I need you to go over each and every one of the variants case files and then give me your, how do I put it, your unique Loki perspective. And who knows, maybe there's something that we missed.
I can never tell what color Mobius's hair is supposed to be.
Well, that's why I'm lucky I got you.
It's, I believe the technical term is salt and pepper.
Okay, okay, that's fair.
For you. Pretend your life depends.
He's gonna go get a snack.
Get a snack.
Which brings me to another question that I've had for a little bit now. What the fuck are these people? They're not humans. But are they humans?
Well, because the Timekeepers apparently created everybody in the TVA, which is weird.
It is weird. And we see later on, and we'll discuss more, but like, well, no, we've already seen they do not deal with just Earth shit or just human shit. They go all across the fucking Marvel universe, the cosmos. We see that scroll in episode 1.
I mean, we are presented with the idea that the Timekeepers are gods.
Yes.
There's something beyond
Something
reality
like
that is all powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if most, if not all of this was just a big old smokescreen, and that the Timekeepers are not as powerful as they make themselves out to be.
Yes, I'm
and or maybe there no longer are any Timekeepers. Like we saw in the scene where Mobius was talking to Ravonna. Nobody sees them but her.
Right.
She goes into meetings with them, and he's never met them. Mobius hasn't.
That's an important detail to
What
put in
if?
there.
What if that council chamber, the meeting room that she goes into to talk to them is actually empty and the whole thing's a ruse?
That is very possible. High likelihood.
Or maybe there were timekeepers and they're dead and she's keeping it a secret so that the place doesn't fall apart.
Exactly.
Or any number of things.
Or missing, like fucking Dogma style. You don't know where the timekeepers went.
That is the kind of swerve I would not be surprised to see a show like this pull.
Yeah, that makes sense. She does. I mean, and like it's pretty much there in that lady's performance. Like she is very guarded about those things and about talking about the timekeepers. Maybe even a little too much. Reading about Ragnarok because he didn't see this shit in the last episode. Really, he didn't see it.
He saw some images of himself.
Yes, during Ragnarok.
You wouldn't know what that means if you can't see all of the background.
Right. It's tough for me anyway to tell, like, is he actually affected, like, with some sentimentality here after reading that, or no? I think he's supposed to be.
I got the impression that he was affected.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that seems to be the thing. It's Loki though, so I mean, I don't know.
Because he definitely had like a sad look on his face momentarily there.
And there was the sad music. Music was very sad.
Any time in history, there's like a
Josta.
Ragnarok. Are you familiar?
Yes, the destruction of Asgard and most of its people. I'm sorry.
Yes. Very sad.
Did we talk about what that was on the last episode?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
I think we said it on the Discord. I don't know if we said it in that episode.
No, I said that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a made-up brand for the show, but it turns out this is a real soda.
Yeah,
it's a discontinued soda that the TVA has acquired from the era it comes from.
Allegedly, it was the United States' first, like widely distributed energy drink. Made by Pepsi.
Right.
Hang in there.
I want that salad.
It was like in the 90s or something?
Yeah, early 90s.
Yeah.
Ragnarok causes its complete destruction, and I could do anything I wanted. I could.
And,
let's say.
the world wasn't ready for energy drinks.
No, I mean, I guess.
I mean, I can imagine when you introduced people to the idea of drinking something that tastes like fucking sweet tarts, that they would reject it. Because that's why I don't drink energy drinks.
That's the thing. Some people like it. Like my wife loves energy drinks. Just fucking straight up. She likes that tart whatever thing. Like it's crazy.
It tastes like licking a battery.
It kind of does. It kind of does. Hey, it's Casey.
There he is again.
Casey would have a juice box.
The apocalypse. Surtur will destroy Asgard no matter what I do.
This demonstration of his theory is.
The apocalypse. Ragnarok obliterates the salt. Ragnarok.
What?
There it is.
He's very proud of
He is
himself.
extremely proud.
It was a clumsy metaphor, but you see what I mean. It could be any apocalypse. It could be a tidal wave, it could be a meteor, it could be a volcano, a supernova. If everything and everyone around you is destined for imminent destruction, then nothing that I say or do
I just want to point out,
will matter.
it is remarkably
Because it gets
convenient that Loki was only allowed to look at one case file, and it was his.
apocalypse and do whatever
and
he wants, and we.
It's the one that cracked this code for him. He was able to
Well,
find this shit
to be
out.
fair, Loki's case file does have an apocalypse in it.
It does. It very much does.
Homeland? No.
No, I'm not going home. We could go anywhere.
I'm not taking you for a
Oddly, I mean, okay, yeah.
less an apocalypse.
Never mind. Yes.
Mobius, come on. What could possibly go wrong? We got to properly test this theory.
Well, here's a fun theory. You lure me out into the field and then you stab me in the back. And that's a theory.
I never stab anyone in the back.
Would never stab anyone in the back. That's such a boring form of
Your
betrayal.
life. You
Again.
stab people in the back like 50 times.
might never do it again because it got old.
Because it got old.
I like Mobius laughing too.
I'd love to be right.
Pompeii. This place is about to pop.
Yes.
Um,
Located unfortunately close to Mount Vesuvius. For those of you who don't know your history, it's an active volcano and it's about to go off.
it is about to go off. Now, theoretically, you should have already watched this without our commentary on it. But
yes, no, that would be the preferred way.
that would be, because the video
Don't
looks like
let us
shit.
be your first time, because you're not actually going to know anything that's happening in the episode.
It's don't do that. Do yourself a favor. Don't watch my weird green video that's all flickery and bullshit. Get out of here.
With us talking over it, you can't hear anything.
It's, we're a supplemental feature, not like the thing itself.
No, we're a DVD extra.
We're DVD extra. We're not the DVD. I like how fucking. I really enjoy how much fun Loki has with this scene.
Yeah.
It's just like fucking free to go fucking nuts. Do it. Create chaos everywhere. Yeah, he's right. What's that?
So Loki speaks Italian, not Mongolian, but he does speak Italian.
I thought this was Latin.
It would be Latin, yeah, ancient Rome.
He would know Latin. You're just going for it. Don't reel him in. Just
I would know because I'm from the future.
wait, am I? It's complicated. That's an oversimplification. Loki in his ideal state. And he was right. Now, let's get out of here.
This is where I would hide.
It's worth pointing out that, like, okay, this is an apocalypse, but apparently apocalypses can be localized apocalypses and still count.
Right. It's just if you go and you as a time traveler dick with a bunch of people who are about to be wiped out by a tornado, that counts too.
Yes, apparently.
As long as everyone you interact with is going to die soon anyway, it can't change the timeline. There will be no butterfly effect.
That is the thing. It's a little bit complicated because if you could do something that left a permanent mark in the environment or something like that for someone else to find later, maybe.
Yeah, there are things you could leave behind,
but
depending on what kind of destruction.
Asgard is a really good example though, because that place just blew up. It's over.
Yeah, no, there's nothing left.
Yeah, there's nothing there, so that worked good.
But like, if you went to some place that was going to be just hit by a tornado, and you buried something underground deep enough, it'll be there.
Yeah, that would definitely work. I really enjoy this scene, and there is no way that this scene is not going to become relevant at some future point in this.
No, we're gonna see Owen Wilson on a jet ski. I promise you.
Why this wasn't a one-off, just about nothing, pointless thing?
This is Chekhov's jet ski.
It is. It's exactly what it is. Oh, it would be super fun.
All this stuff, don't you? I don't get hung up on believe.
Oh man, what if the moment where he gets to get on a jet ski is what they're saving the WoW for?
Oh god. Jesus Christ. Did you see that stupid shit that I posted in the Discord?
I start to admire your intelligence.
I forgot where I even saw it, but that shit made me laugh and I felt so stupid. Because it's stupid, but it was funny. So how does a jet ski make? Wow, wow, wow. God, it's fucking stupid. Ineffective. Okay. He has to say it at some point, though, right?
He does. He has to.
He has to.
It's expected. It's they're building up anticipation every episode that goes by, and he doesn't say it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting wow balls here.
It's real because I believe it's real.
Fair enough. You believe it's real.
Yeah.
And this is a good conversation, too.
Everything is written. Past, present, future. There's no such thing as free will.
Well, I mean,
Timekeepers, Odin, and Frost Giants, all fucking weird shit. But, you know.
You and I, here at the TVA, we're the only ones who are actually free.
where are you going with this, Loki?
How does it all end?
That's a work in progress.
Oh, there's lazy timekeepers. What are they waiting for?
There definitely is a fair amount of blind faith going on around here.
They're toiling away in their chamber, untangling the epilogue.
See, this is the kind of dialogue that makes me think we're gonna get a scene where somebody goes into the timekeeper office and surprise, there's nobody in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm suspecting at this point too.
Only order. No chaos. It sounds boring.
I'm sure it does to you.
I mean, I don't know.
I called you a lot of things.
It's getting to the point to where it'd be kind of weird if they were there.
Wrong,
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been weird in general because look at those things. But still, I don't know.
Bad is ever true.
That doesn't feel like where this show is going.
I don't, cause all the statues are like gigantic. I think it'd be funny if
Yes, it was
somebody went into that office and there's 3 giant chairs, and sitting in the middle one is a regular human-sized Kang the Conqueror, and there's nobody else in the room.
I like it.
There's the timekeepers are a fiction made up by Kang, and everybody's doing his bidding.
That works too.
Find anything real? Why does that mean?
That could be a thing.
I like it. Now, see,
Natural disaster?
just so everyone knows, public service announcement. This is how to speculate about something without being a smug bitch. Like, you can definitely do it and you can speculate, but keep it fun and not be
Are you suggesting that there are people who got too salty Magneto was not behind the door?
I think, yeah, a little bit. I think there was a couple people whose jimmies were rustled by there fucking being no Mephisto.
Anything?
I think that was the thing.
I would say Quicksilver just being some guy was the thing that made them the maddest.
Oh yeah.
And by them I mean the entire internet.
Yeah. It didn't make me mad.
No, it didn't bother me. I don't want Foxmen in the MCU.
Dick Silver? I don't need that guy. It's fine.
But some people...
Boner? Oh my god, Marvel sucks.
Yeah.
You want me to report a deployment of a full
I like this shit though. I like that shit that Marvel does.
Haven Hills, Alabama.
And it's not their first time doing it either. Like Matt Damon playing Loki in Ragnarok. They're during the play.
Is
all based on a theory from the variant.
is this Roxcart chain? This knockoff Walmart? Is this the first Roxxon Corporation thing we've seen in the MCU?
The trouble, I mean,
No, Roxxon?
hole in our security, right?
It was somewhere
all
else,
over
right?
They've been all over the place in the MCU.
Trust me, this is where we get.
And on like the Netflix shit and
Well, no, yeah, like the
They've been
Netflix and all the Jeff Loeb stuff isn't canon though. So
the one that I know for sure that you can go back and check out Roxxon shit was Iron Man 3, because that was a Roxxon shit, like tanker oil shit that were gonna blow up with the president on at the end.
Okay.
But there were other ones too. I just can't remember. That one I do remember.
Do if it doesn't work out.
Roxxon is like omnipresent though.
Yeah. Because I felt like there had been stuff before, but I wasn't sure.
I think there were some Roxxon references in Falcon Bucky too.
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't remember.
not like obvious ones.
And who knows, friend? Well, good enough for a face-to-face with the timekeepers? I didn't say that. One step at a time. Just in case.
Absolutely not.
Come on, man.
Gather round for a briefing.
Roxcart is a vast superstore common to the era. It consists of a series of sprawling...
Yeah, I have so many questions about these timekeeper people.
This warehouse is being used by civilians as a shelter.
Like, are they engineered?
I
Is this like a
feel
clone
like
thing?
if I was from...
The variant should know we're coming. He could be hiding anywhere and should be...
I don't even know what to call it, because I keep wanting to say the future, but...
Yeah, it's
The variant steals are
not really the future.
Yeah, no, it's not exact. Like, it's another dimension that's futuristic,
Yes.
that has, like,
a Loki.
all-powerful, all-seeing
The bad lady.
technology and abilities. Why do they not have a device that can, like, just scan a building and tell you everybody who's in it, or something like that, you know?
I do know. This was an expensive ass shot.
There was some CGI.
Yeah, no, there
paid
still
for
is.
here.
Yeah. We're still heavy CGI. That was a lot. Rocks.
Do you think in the real world in the 2050s we'll have the giant holograms?
No, I really don't.
I mean, I can excuse it in the MCU because Jarvis already exists.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Stark in the first movie had that tech.
Yeah.
In 2008.
I don't know, like, what the... Yeah, I don't think, no. And if we do have it, it's not going to be shitty and, like, monochromatic like that and all that shit.
Using magic.
I love the...
Why'd she get so pissed?
So I didn't announce myself with every squeaky footstep like the rest of you.
Hey, god damn it, you're supposed to be wet like us!
Yeah.
And sweep the storm shelter.
But yeah, I just wonder if these people are, like, engineered to be, like, follow orders, like a Clone Wars type situation.
Well, so here's my theory.
Field op Mobius.
Is that, like, if the timekeepers are in fact fake,
That's why I want him with me.
all of these people might just have been,
Back to the TV.
you know, stolen as babies in the crib or something like that, you know?
Yeah, they could.
It's fine.
They might just be from Earth.
You can
They could
trust
be.
me.
I've also seen the theory that
That.
these people were from clipped timelines that didn't have a timeline to go back to. Like Loki.
Why is it the people you...
They were like, listen, we can either prune you or you can work for the TVA.
Okay, try to hang on to your time collar this time.
Theories. Speculation.
Well, because, like, Mobius and, what's the nerd guy?
Casey?
Casey.
Casey.
Yeah, Casey sounds like the TVA is the only thing he's ever known. Like, he's
Yeah.
never been to Earth.
You're right, yeah.
Which makes me wonder, are there children in the TVA world?
Yeah, that's another good question.
Was Casey born an adult?
That is a very good question. And again, since they are curating not just Earth time, but like we see in a bit, we see like, you know, the Kree world and fucking Sakaar and Asgard and all these other things.
That's true. They do apparently keep track of what happens on other planets, which I did see someone on the internet complain that if they police time for the whole universe, how come every member of the TVA is human?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's what I was saying earlier about that scroll thing. Like, I don't know.
And none of these soldiers are blue or
Yes, maybe.
or some kind of lizard.
It is a thing. And we saw that scroll in the first episode. He was standing there at the counter with Casey when Loki came in at first.
That's true.
But yeah, it's weird that they're all just normal humanoid-looking things.
Is he dead?
No, they usually survive. So, you're the fool the TVA brought in to hunt me down.
Okay, I'm a weirdo.
Me.
So, the first thing that I thought whenever I was watching this was, does the other Loki not have an accent?
How nice of you.
I can see where that might occur to you. Because if you were possessing someone, would you talk the way they talk, or would you talk the way you talk?
That is a good question here.
But I think maybe that didn't occur to them to have the actors try to sound like Loki.
And we don't hear from whatever, when we do see another Loki, we don't hear enough for me to be able to tell definitively if she has an accent either. Damn it, I said it again. Come on, man. You've watched this already. You know what's happening.
I think she has an accent.
She probably does.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
The evil Loki is a girl.
Okay. Here's a mystery. Here's a question mark. What the fuck is she talking about? It's real. What's real?
That is a good question. What is real? What is the thing that's real?
Almost as cowardly as working for the TVA.
I'm working for me.
Oh, you really believe that, don't you?
Yep.
And it's interesting because we've seen characters that have had Loki in their minds, mind controlling them before.
No.
Selvig and Hawkeye specifically.
Well, to be fair, the way he did that wasn't that he directly possessed them. It was
going to call your little friends.
The Mind Stone just made them do what he told them to do.
I'm basing that mostly on the stuff that they said after the fact, like had an insane god play around in your brain with bullshit like that. I think Selvig said that.
Yeah. Well, I think in this case, because it's a direct possession.
It is, yeah.
Like, I think when this Loki is taking control of someone, I wonder whether she can also use her own body at the same time.
Yes,
or
she can. She
only
definitely
one
can.
at a time.
We saw that in the opening scene there, and I think we see it again maybe, but it was definitely in that one scene. That's why I said the thing like Noob Saibot. The possessed chick was being held, and then the real Loki ran up and stabbed it, and then backed off again.
And I assume you mean...
Well, since we've already spilled the beans...
Beans spilled everywhere.
On the variant being a female Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Call me that.
We should point out, so... There's a blink and you miss it. Somebody caught it freeze framing through the episode. A bit in the scene where Loki was reading the case files, where he came across a file with the name Sylvie Laufey's daughter on it. And apparently that is the female Loki's name. Her name is Sylvie instead of Loki.
Yes.
And Another piece of evidence for this is in the credits for one of the foreign languages.
I want to go home.
Like in our credits, in the English credits, she's credited as the variant.
No.
But in some other language, they mistakenly credit her as her name, Sylvie.
They are. I gave it away. How to find them?
And what's the significance of that name, Razor?
Yeah, the significance of that name is that in the comics, there was a girl who thought she was the Marvel villain, the Enchantress, but wasn't. Like, Loki had secretly given her the Enchantress's powers and convinced her that she was the Enchantress in human form, so that she would go do some bullshit. It was a book about...
Doesn't matter. You're too late.
Man, look at that walk.
You know how there are books about teen sidekicks, like the Young Avengers and the Teen Titans? This was one of those, but villains.
Okay.
I see.
So she was like a teenage version of the Enchantress.
Okay.
And her real name was Sylvie something.
Not Laufey daughter. It was Sylvie something else.
No. So apparently this female Loki is a hybrid of female Loki and the Enchantress. Like how in Iron Man 2, Whiplash was a hybrid of the characters Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo.
Right.
Sometimes the MCU mashes characters together to do their own version of them.
In this case, I
Because
approve.
let's face it, with Asgard destroyed, it's a little too late to do Amora now.
Yes.
So they came up with a different take on the Enchantress to get a version of the Enchantress into the MCU.
I was never cared for the Enchantress that much. Just because there's a lot of, like, other similar things going on in Asgard.
Well, she's kind of one-dimensional.
She fucking wants Thor, man.
Yeah, she's just a goddess who wants Thor to be her boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
don't we
so
all?
she mind controls people and does evil based on that one thing, and like... And then, normally, like, her number one thing is that she has Scourge the Executioner following her around and doing her bidding, being her big, strong guy henchman. And they already did Scourge in Ragnarok, so...
And again, like, do we really need another green sorcerer villain in Asgard? I mean, there's a lot of those, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Enchantress in a lot of ways always already was a female Loki.
Yeah, it's a thing. Loki doesn't want Thor to be his boyfriend. He just wants Thor to suffer and know it was him. But they still like Thor's attention all the time. Okay, this is an interesting thing, though. Okay, how was this guy able to kick Loki's ass? He must have had some kind of, like, when he was possessed, some strength buff or something like that.
Well, they might have forgotten that Loki has the super strength that all Asgardians are supposed to have. Because the only movie where Loki really appears to use being extra strong and durable is the end of Avengers 1.
Right.
When he's, like, on the top of Stark Tower fighting Thor.
Yeah. He chucks Tony Stark out of that window with one hand through the glass, which is
in most of the stuff Loki's in. Like, you never see him fight anybody.
He's not a hand-to-hand type dude.
I will point out, like, people probably should remember that he survived Hulk grabbing him by the ankle and slamming him into the ground over and over again.
And that's like
kind
of
of a famous scene.
Yeah, like that's like one of Loki's biggest, most famous scenes in the MCU.
I'm pretty sure a human would be paced if that happened to them.
Exactly. Like, that was no mean feat that he survived that bullshit. He's pretty durable. So this fat dude walking around Walmart kicking him, it's not super big deal. I just, questions. Look at all those places.
Yeah. Whole bunch of branches.
She grabs this shit. I don't know why.
I assume she's gonna jump through one of those portals with the rest of the soldiers, like they need the number.
One would.
So here's my question.
Okay. That's a lot of
So Femloki just created a whole bunch of branch timelines by sending the TVA's bombs to random places throughout history and setting them off.
On the sacred timeline.
Right.
Yes.
So my question is, if the bombs only destroy stuff that's not where it's supposed to be, and you send them to places that aren't time nexus points already, what do they even do? Why would that create a branching timeline?
Boom. That was a hard cut.
That was a hard cut.
That one catches you in the fucking balls, man.
So if you have a bomb that does nothing, and you set it off, why would that create an alternate timeline?
Well, I'm not sure that that's actually the case, though. We're still left speculating largely on the specifics of how this stuff works.
That's true. I assume it'll make sense next episode.
We have not...
Because it would have to, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. They have to. We haven't seen exactly what those charges do. We've seen a little bit, and we do see the charges erasing the stuff left there by the TVA. But that does not mean that it doesn't necessarily affect anything else. If it affects the entire branch, then it's getting rid of everything on that branch, like flat out, and that snips that whole fucking thing off to get back to the other timeline. So it's not just destroying stuff or events or whatever. Again, we haven't seen this super clearly, but yeah, it's a little vague right now.
It is.
But I mean, clearly, it does do something, because we see a lot of branches.
Right.
So,
I'm just saying, if you have a bomb that only deletes branches,
yeah, that wouldn't.
Why
make
would
much
it
sense.
create branches?
Yeah, it's. It would have to be a bomb.
I guess we'll see. The bombs must do something different if you set them off on the sacred timeline.
Presumably. Well, I mean, if you destroy everything that's in a branch, then it's not a charge that just erases stuff that's changed. It's a charge that erases everything. That whole fucking branch, everything gets disintegrated. So it's not about resetting things and applying the sacred timeline stuff. It's about destroying fucking that whole universe in that branch, essentially. While it's still small enough, and that's important too.
I don't know. I'm just saying, because we saw the bombs. We saw one go off in the Ren Fair tent, and it didn't destroy stuff that was where it was supposed to be. It had no effect on like the grass and the tent itself. It only deleted stuff that was moved by the time travelers.
Fortunately, I have the power.
Like the TVA stuff lying on the ground, it deleted that because that's not supposed to be there.
Right. I have the power to look at that again, and I'm going to. Razor's computer apparently is unworthy to see the time stone powers that I'm using, but
it's fine.
It's a thing. I'm just watching the thing deleting the TVA agents and all that shit.
Right.
No,
but,
I mean,
like,
no. I don't know, man.
Delete the ground underneath them because the ground is where it's supposed to be.
It's getting rid of non-TVA stuff too, though.
Yeah, stuff that had been moved during the fight, like.
Presumably, but not definitively. We're not sure. It's. I mean, maybe. It's vague, and hopefully, it's vague intentionally. And they'll go
I'm pretty sure that's what's going on.
Oh, hey, it's Nidavellir. What's up, Nidavellir?
Obviously, they will explain it.
Well,
next episode because they'll have to because it's the plot.
Mm-hmm. It is a thing. And hopefully it works. I mean, hopefully it doesn't just make no sense whatsoever. But
I mean, I don't think they're gonna drop the ball in episode 3 all of a sudden. They'd be a little early to screw up the show.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
But I enjoyed this episode so far.
I did.
I thought. I mean, I liked the first one, but the first one is all about telling Loki stuff that the rest of us already knew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had to catch him up before they could do new things.
They did.
So this episode, we get into the action. And there were some funny scenes. I really enjoyed the Pompeii bit. We got to meet our villain.
Quote villain.
She's mashed up with the Enchantress thing explains why they picked someone blonde to play her. By the way,
yeah, yes.
Obviously, Loki not blonde.
Hella not blonde. He's the other thing. I don't know if she's a villain. I don't know if we can call her a villain.
That's true. We don't know that she's a villain yet. The TVA could be the villain.
Yeah, in my estimation for right now, TVA is the villain. They're the fucking fascist bastards that's killing anybody who wants to exercise free will. Bad guys. Fuck you.
She does wear Loki's horns.
She does.
One of them is broken off, which is actually, I believe, accurate to the comic female Loki when, during the J. Michael Straczynski run where he was possessing Sif's body.
I didn't notice that.
I believe Femme Loki did wear like a crown with one horn busted off.
That does sound familiar, but I didn't catch it on Sylvie here.
Femme Loki also shaved off her eyebrows, which obviously they did not do for the show.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know why Loki was doing that. I guess just to look creepier?
I suppose. Oh, it is broken off. You can barely fucking tell. It's dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, well, gold crown, blonde hair, kind of hard to tell one from the other.
It is. I can see it, though. It's there.
Especially because, like, in the darkly lit scene. Because they're fighting in a poor excuse for a hurricane shelter. Everyone there is going to die. That's the entire point.
Shit, I had another thing I was gonna say, and I'm fucking old as hell. Well, I like that episode as well. I thought it was good. And I think that it did a good job of... I mean, I haven't seen anybody say this or anything, but I feel like one of the goals with this show, like the first thinking, the direction they wanted to go was let's do a thing that's kind of like a Doctor Who, X-Files procedural type vibe for a show, which I think the show actually does pretty well.
There is an element of, I used to be a bad person and do all these things, and now I hope the cops solve crimes.
Yes,
it's like...
It's the thing.
Tuesday nights on NBC.
Right. It's working, though. I think that they're doing a good job with it, and I like the...
Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's only 6 episodes, so you're not going to get into a formula. There's no status quo. Like, Loki just left the TVA. He's already fucking split from the group.
Which is another good question. That may or may not be in our actual questions. Do you want to just jump to the questions? We could do that.
Let's do questions.
Okay, let's jump to questions. We got a few questions. Navigation. And by the way, anyone listening on YouTube or elsewhere, if you want to ask a question, you can post it in the YouTube comments, and I'll get them, and I will add them to the list. So you guys can ask too. If you guys are on, if you're listening on Spotify or somewhere else like that, I don't know.
That's magnanimous of you, because I would ignore the comments.
Yeah. I'll do the legwork.
No, that's
to
not
YouTube.
True. If it was a good enough question, I would type an answer in the comments section, but I would definitely not remember to do it on the air.
I'm gonna do my best to remember to look in the comments. I hope that I can, and I hope that I remember. But yeah, if you're on Spotify or something else, I don't know how to do that as far as telling us, so just go to the YouTube thing and post there anyway.
Yeah.
Just post there on the YouTube comments.
Does Spotify have comment sections? I have no idea.
No, I don't think there's any.
I don't
think there's a medium for that. So everyone can go to YouTube. I think they can figure that part out. And there I'll get you. Okay, where are we? I hope. I'm gonna do my best. I don't even know where these things started. Lots of Josta talk.
Oh, here's a question from 500.
Okay.
He wants to know in the thumbnail thingy, which of the silhouettes is me and which one is you? The answer is neither.
The answer is neither. It is true.
Those
However,
are just too generic. Look, I have long hair. Neither of those silhouettes does.
Mm-hmm.
Do with that information what you will.
I think the only significance with those silhouettes would be the one on the left is a render of MKX Liu Kang, and the one on the right is a render of MKX Revenant Sub-Zero.
Well, there you go.
Obviously, I'm a Sub-Zero main in that game. And
I do play a lot of Liu Kang.
And he plays a lot of Liu Kang. That's the significance there. That's all.
Now, if you had used a Scylla MK11 Liu Kang, the hair length might be correct.
Maybe for next season we can fucking upgrade. That would be that would be a thing. Yeah, that's what that is.
Right.
Thanks, 500. Where was that? Oh, okay. There we are. Yeah, COVID hair is a thing. That was a big thing.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, all the haircut places were closed.
Yeah.
Of course, I've had long hair for like 20 years.
It's a thing. My long hair days. I might try to get it at some point, but it used to work for me.
I briefly tried it short, senior year of high school, and then again, like, I want to say 8 years ago. But for the most part, I've had long hair since I was like 14 years old. It's just that is who I expect to see when I look in the mirror, so I cannot imagine changing my look. I mean, it's old age might force it, but
yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I had long hair from about like 14 to maybe 20-ish, maybe 19. And it was tight. But since then, my hair it's not as thick as it used to be on top. It's a thing. It happens. And so, whenever I have long hair now, it really accentuates that in a bad way. It's crazy.
I don't mind. Like, look at Loki. His hairline is receding. He's
fine.
Still wearing it that way.
It's not just the hairline, though. It just doesn't do what it should anymore. That's okay. My hair's not like, I'm not like going bald or anything, but it is just thinner than I would like it to be. Or no,
Fair
it's
enough.
thinner than I would like it to be for long hair. Short hair though it's fine. That's the lore on hair.
All right. That's nobody asked.
Nobody asked.
But we'll answer that question anyway.
You guys are welcome. We know what you're thinking. Wait, you saw that last one. Where is it? Where's the questions?
That was. Well, I saw that one because on Discord, when they at you, it highlights it yellow.
You're right. That's handy. 500 sunglasses bangs are past his eyes.
Let's see.
$500 sunglasses said Jango. Loki fucked a wolf also.
That's not a question.
It's not a question, but I also don't believe it's correct.
Actually, Loki did not fuck a wolf.
No.
He fucked his wife and had a wolf.
He did.
Because mythology is weird.
Yeah, mythology is really fucking weird. There's a lot of weird, especially really, Loki.
Like, the genetics is not a thing in mythologies. Like Greek, Norse, Chinese, Egyptian, it doesn't matter what culture. People constantly are having children that are not the right species.
It is it is a thing. Loki has Fenris, Hel, and the World Serpent. Fenris is the big dog from Ragnarok. That was Loki's kid.
Yeah.
Hela, obviously, Loki's daughter.
You know who Hela is. Hela was their sister in the movie, but she's Loki's daughter in actual Norse myth and in the comics.
She is. She presides over the realm of the dead, and that's her job.
And the World Serpent, Jormungandr, is a snake the size of the planet.
It is. And Thor and Jormungandr battle to the death at Ragnarok, and they both kill each other.
They did not put the World Serpent in the moon.
They did not. Thor dies for all of Midgard, but he dies in the process too. Well, no, he dies, and so does the snake. Whatever. We live, he died.
If I could bitch for a minute,
sure.
The point where I stopped following the comics, specifically for Thor, at least stopped following them regularly. Like, I still sporadically read issues of the run where Jane was Thor. But the point where I stopped collecting every issue was because of dissatisfaction with the product, was when Fear itself happened. The point where they introduced Odin's brother Kull,
right,
and then revealed that he is a rebooted version of the World Serpent.
Yep.
That is dumb as fuck.
It was dumb as fuck. It really, really was.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
He was buried at the bottom of a fucking ocean or some shit. He did give a bunch of people their own like hammers, and they had
he
cool
made a
costumes
bunch
for
of
him.
hammers and handed them out to like guys like Juggernaut and whoever else. And gave them all Norse powers.
They looked kind of cool for a minute, but no, that's whack. That guy shouldn't be a world serpent. And that's not even one of Odin's brothers, which I mean...
No, that's a made-up character. There's no such thing as Kull Borson.
No, there's not. No, that's not a thing. No, I know, but a lot of people are like, dude, it's all made up. It's like, yeah, people make up shit all the time. You know, like,
that's a made-up word. All words are made up.
Yeah, it's a thing. Somebody made it up at the beginning, but like, come on. No, Odin's brothers are Vili and Ve. That's it. That's the whole fucking family.
The mythology, yes.
That's this fucking shit. And those two died and gave...
Okay, here's an actual...
How dare you?
Here's where the actual questions start, because there was a bunch of conversation in the questions channel, which
we gotta cut
sometimes and shouldn't.
We gotta ease up on that.
Smokeman asked, and I think you might have an answer for this, what if Loki was Mephisto?
Yeah. And I deleted my answer and a couple of other things. And what if he was? Then, yeah, maybe he could be. Like I said, a Loki variant. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. That does not mean that I'm saying it's definitely the case. This is another good example of how to speculate without being a bitch.
My position is that if you take too many characters that are original to themselves and then reveal that they're just more Lokis, that feels a little uncreative to me.
It does. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I would not disagree with that statement. But just in terms of being possible or even plausible or not, I mean, yeah, I think that is possible and plausible. Ideal, maybe not, but the other two. That's my opinion. Smoke Man.
Right. Great Kung Lao asks us, do you think the Loki in Infinity War actually turned around, like became good?
Okay.
Do you want Show Loki to turn around too?
I mean, we talked about this a little bit.
I personally believe that by the end of Thor Ragnarok, Loki had I don't know if I'd call it a redemption arc, because redemption is really something you have to, like, convince other people of. It's really more about how they react to you.
Yes.
I believe Loki's intentions were good at the end of Ragnarok, and that he was... I mean, if he was still sinister and out for his own ends, he would not have stayed on the ship. When Thor threw the paperweight at him, it would have gone through him instead of him catching it.
Yes. And we talked a little bit about that in the last episode, but yeah. Like I said,
he had the Tesseract. If he wanted to, he could have teleported anywhere in the universe. He chose to stay on the ship. To the point where he chose to stay and fight Thanos and die.
Yes.
When he could have just fucking run away.
He could have. Very quite easily.
Teleported off that ship and escaped and left Thor behind to die. But no, he attacked Thanos.
And yes, like I said last week, I think that Thanos thing was very intentional. He didn't die because he was stupid and tried to fucking stab Thanos. No, I don't think that was the case there. I think that he went into that knowing very well the possibility, and knowing that Thanos had a much higher chance of being beaten by Thor than he does have a chance of being beaten by Loki. He wanted to ensure Thor's survival. That's my opinion.
I believe Loki was one of the good guys when he died in Infinity War.
I agree.
And this Loki, I think the thing about people and morality is that you're only as good as you are in the moment. Like, one day you do a good thing, the next day you could do a bad thing, the day after that you could do a good thing again, you know? Like,
yes.
People are dynamic creatures, and they don't just live trapped in a status quo all their lives. They can do whatever they want.
And Loki says as much in this very episode of the show. No one bad is ever truly bad, and no one good is ever truly good.
Right.
It's a thing.
Right.
And like Loki really, really like personifies that stuff more so than most any character that you'll come by. I was making the comparisons to Joker a little bit in terms of just being chaos people, but like Loki's not Joker though. Joker's not like for a lot of reasons. Loki's not Joker, but Joker is he's never gonna make something better or show up to help. No. Whereas Loki is the actual wild card. Like, he could be both at any time.
Here's the thing. We talked about this kind of last episode. Yeah. Loki in the MCU, this particular version of the character, differs from the comics in that he never really was a bad guy. Like, in Thor 1, everything he's doing is because he thinks it'll... he just wants Odin's approval. He thinks he's doing what Odin wants, the right thing to do to protect Asgard. Like, even after he finds out he's a frost giant, he's still trying to destroy Jotunheim because he wants to be he wants to protect Asgard and be more worthy of the throne than Thor is, and he's just going about it the wrong way.
He is.
The only time Loki is really a villain in any of the movies is Avengers 1. And in that case, he's only doing it because if he doesn't, Thanos will fucking kill him.
Yes. That is exactly what it is. And there's also a little bit of like, I believe him wanting to, like, the fact that it is Midgard specifically, he wants to go here and fuck it up because Thor's been hanging out here a lot and having fun. As they talk about at the end of Thor 1, oh, it was that woman, I'm going to pay her a visit, like, he wants to fuck it up because Thor likes it. And Loki does that a lot.
And some of it is all talk and bluster, and he acknowledges that in the first episode of this show. Yeah. The hurting people is part of the illusion of appearing weak and frightening when you're really small and scared.
Yes.
So yeah, like I don't think a movie Loki was ever a bad guy the way that comics Loki has been.
No, yeah, comics Loki spent a long time being just a villain-ass villain.
Yeah.
And he's changed over time, but we talked about that in the last one too. We've had different cycles in Ragnarok, and things change.
I would say sometimes. I mean, Loki hasn't certainly been a hero often. I would call him an anti-hero at his best.
Yeah.
Like when he is on the side of the good guys, he's still does it by questionable means, which is the definition of an anti-hero. Like you look at characters that people use that term for, like Wolverine and Punisher. They do good things, but they do them in bad ways, like killing a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like the Punisher is nobody you should emulate.
No. He's not a role model, man.
What he's doing is a bad thing to do, but arguably a thing that gets good results.
Bad thing to do, but it might be a thing that's needed sometimes. That's the question.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. But Loki, yeah, I feel like when Loki's written well and Loki at his best, for me, is when, like I said, he is a true wild card. He could, if he shows up, it could be to help or hurt, and you don't know. Because that's just how Loki does. He's both. I hope I'm sure I said it last week too. I hope that this series ends with this Loki being in a significantly different enough place than Loki A. What did you call it? Loki 1, Loki A, whatever.
Loki A.
Loki A.
Loki 1. It's interchangeable.
Yes. Yeah, I want this one to
timeline jokes
to feel different. Right. And hopefully that happens. I think it will. I think that we already have a lot of things set up that should nudge him in an interesting direction, but we'll see where it goes. But yes, Infinity War Loki did turn around.
And I would say that show Loki, I would like to see. I think he already has, as you put it, turned around. I think he did that in the first episode.
I agree.
But where I would like to see him morally at the end of this series is a little bit wiser, someone with more perspective, who's not going to like try to take over realms and become king of things that don't belong to him. That is someone who is capable of doing good things, but the people around him might not necessarily see him as an ally when he does them, because he's doing them using trickery.
Right. And I mean, one of the biggest things
like how a good example is at the very end of this episode, we see Loki chase after the variant through a portal, and Mobius thinks Loki is escaping from the TVA.
Right.
From Mobius's perspective, Loki has gone bad again.
Mm-hmm.
But from my perspective, I suspect Loki is continuing to investigate and try to stop the villain.
I agree. Yes, I think that was Loki's best move, and Loki figured, like, if I let her go, I'm not going to be able to find her again. Like, this is like a make or break thing.
Right. He's pursuing the investigation. He's not necessarily just trying to escape.
Necessarily.
He may also be trying to escape.
He may. It's a thing. Also with this Loki, they did it in episode 1. They made a big deal out of it, and they should, about showing, hey, fucking Tesseracts are trash. Infinity Stones are whack. Like, stop doing this shit. Stop chasing these things. And I really hope it ends up with Loki being a little more maybe nihilistic, but that sounds different. But still, yeah, like a little bit nihilistic.
Yeah, like that he figures out what he really wants in life.
Yes.
Sort of like that was the conclusion of Thor's arc. By the end of Endgame, he had realized that he doesn't even want to be king. He just wants to have fun adventures with his friends, which was kind of all he ever wanted. Like, you go all the way back to Thor 1, and he thought he wanted to be king because he spent his whole life being told that he was going to be king. But really, all he wanted to do was get drunk and fight and hang out with the Warriors 3.
Yeah. For Thor, I don't love that where they left him in Endgame. I haven't liked it in comics either, but they've done better in comics. But it's taken them a long time. I feel like Thor. I feel like MCU Thor too is ready as a character
that's the weird thing is the less he wants to be king, the better he would be as king.
Right. Yeah. That, it's that thing where like the people that want power the most are the ones that probably shouldn't have it.
Right. But the point is that Thor has matured and enlightened himself and figured out what makes him happy and what he wants to be. He's figured out what life gives him the most fulfillment. That's what Loki needs to figure out.
He does. Thor, in-game Thor, I really like it. It does bug me, but it bugs me mostly because of the state that Asgardians are in. Because fuck, have they been fucked hard? And like, dude, there's like fucking 5 of them left at this point, and Thor's like, yeah, I'm gonna bounce like when you need me most. Like, no, they're in their worst place. I wish that he would take care of them more and like be.
I think
be a little more responsible.
He might kind of have a point in that, like, while he spent 5 years getting fat and drunk, Valkyrie was doing the job.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I'm definitely not saying that he shouldn't have her too and like her help out, but like being more responsible with the Asgardians and being more like present instead of like a dad who's never home or some shit like that. I feel like Thor's grown past that in the MCU. And
well, hopefully that's where he'll be at the end of Love and Thunder, because I think this phase of wanting to hang out with the Guardians of the Galaxy is a coping mechanism because of all the grief he's on the tail end of having gone through.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that is important with Thor. Thor is gonna live a long fucking time, so he can.
Yeah, I think as much as I say like he's figured out what he needed to figure out, he's not really at the end of the journey emotionally yet.
He's not.
He's got to get over all of the terrible things that happened to him in the past couple movies.
Fucking Hela killing Asgardians, then Thanos having the Asgardians, and then the Snap having them again. It's a fucking mess. But like for Ragnarok, I think I said that last week. Ragnarok, Thor was like, you know, he had the realization he's the fucking god of thunder. And it was handy. That was good. We needed that shit, and I think that this show's gonna do that for Loki. Loki's not the god of magic or fucking tesseracts or Infinity Stones. He's the god of fucking mischief, and that's his biggest power. And hopefully by the end of this series, he'll have learned that lesson, and he can wield that instead of trying to wield everything else but that.
Indeed.
Hopefully. I guess that. Who asked that? What? Oh, okay, that was the turnaround.
That was Great Kung Lao. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wait. Okay, I lost it. Where's the next one?
We're at the bottom. It's the last 3 posts.
Okay, we're good. Sue's asked, do you think that the female variant intentionally left the time door open for the protagonist, Loki, to go through? There was a good 10-second pause. It felt intentional. Okay, that's the end of one question. What do you think about that?
It did kind of feel like the time door was hanging open for longer than usual.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that she wanted to be followed. On the other hand, it might just have been like a narrative device so that they could have him dramatically pause and look back and decide whether or not to walk through.
It definitely could have.
And maybe episode 3 will start with her being like surprised and annoyed that he's followed her.
I don't think that she'll be surprised if I had to guess.
Maybe not.
I mean, you know. But yeah, we'll see. Also, the Holding Out for a Hero song, we talked about that. Wait, did you start talking about that in the first one that we had to go back? Maybe you did. Holding Out for a Hero song at the beginning of the episode seems like it has some literal meaning in the show. If it did, is it referring to protagonist Loki or to female variant? Significance of that song.
They might have just picked that song because the scene was set in the 80s.
I was thinking about that. Like
I don't know.
That song might have came out in 85.
But are we holding out for a hero? Is Loki going to have to become the hero that we're holding out for?
And if so, which Loki? All the Lokis? Loki and or Lokis?
I do think, again, I keep saying, I think the TVA are sort of the real villains.
Yes.
I'm sure that Sylvie, her whatever her goal is probably one I would agree with. Like, there was that scene where they were talking about the jet ski and free will and stuff. Loki makes a pretty good point. If there is a group of people who are deciding what futures people are allowed to have versus what ones must be deleted, then there kind of isn't such a thing as free will.
Right, yeah.
And that's no good.
No.
I don't want to live in a universe where I don't have control over my own destiny.
Yes, and that's not good. And that is also highly villainous. That is insanely like subjugating all of life in the universe.
It seems to me that Sylvie believes there should be a multiverse.
Yes.
At least that's the impression I've gotten from what little we've seen of her and what she did at the end of the episode.
And I mean, if you just looking at it through like super basics and whatnot, having a multiverse was clearly the natural way of things, how they work in the universe.
She tells Loki that she's not interested in ruling the TVA.
No.
So it seems that the next best assumption is that her goal is to destroy the TVA.
Right.
Or to make them irrelevant in some fashion.
Yeah, forcing all of life and the history of the universe into one timeline, like that is wholly unnatural and all this other shit. Like, let life do its thing. Let life find its way, you know? Fucking chaos is how things should be as far as the multiverse goes, clearly. And we still don't know the actual motivations that the TVA has behind all this shit.
Right. I mean, they say that at some point in time there was a war between alternate realities that almost destroyed all the universes, and that's why they don't allow there to be alternate timelines. That's what they say.
Right, yeah. All of that stuff, including Miss Minutes, very much, not so subtly reeks of propaganda. Like, that whiff is strong.
The 50s, 60s office environment and all of the posters and the instructional videos. Propaganda is the word, yes.
It is. It's not subtle, and it's not an accident. You can tell. And just from the stupid shit they say, like at the very beginning, Miss Minutes is like, if a branch goes past the red line, everything dies and it's all destroyed and the universe collapses as we know it. Like, come on, like, no, it doesn't. Like, that's crazy. I mean, we don't
not
know.
Immediately. The universes would have to have a reason to attack each other and start another war first, at the very least.
Yeah, there's
which could take a very long time.
To me, it's clear there are ulterior motives that the TVA has, or someone at the TVA has behind it.
I think it's Kang. I think Kang is one of the Time Masters, or is the only Timekeepers.
Timekeepers.
He's either there are no Timekeepers and it's all Kang, or he's one of them, or there were Timekeepers but he's overthrown them. Who knows? But I think all roads lead to Kang. That's my theory.
I agree. I think that's the most likely bet, and also, just by the end of it, the sacred timeline will be no more. Like, that's the
right.
Where we're headed.
There needs to be a multiverse in order to have a movie called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Indeed. And it's not subtle. They reference that. They say these words a lot within this own show. Like, within this show.
Also, like I said, them letting Steve live in an alternate universe with Peggy long enough for him to grow old. I mean,
that's a big change.
It takes minutes for a timeline to pass the red line,
right? If
you don't bomb it. And Steve was there for long enough to become an old man.
Which, again, like, with stuff like that, and stuff like the Ancient One showing Banner the demonstration of the multiverse and the branches and the whatever and how this works, it's like, oh, well, why aren't they? It sounds like it could be a conflicting thing, or they're wrong, but I don't think so. I think that the results of Loki changed all of the rules for all the timelines retroactively, and that's why
I would my assumption, my strong assumption is that there will not be an effective TVA at the end of this season.
Yes. I would agree as well. It does beg the question, though. After that happens, or whatever happens, this Loki does not have a timeline to go back to. TVA Loki doesn't have a timeline to go back to. They snipped that branch. It's gone. So
I mean, if there's no TVA to stop him, he could simply choose to live on the main timeline where our Loki died.
Right, and theoretically, logically, that's probably where he'll end up. But I don't know. That's another question to be fun to see play out. So many questions. Edward
Indeed.
Enigma. Was that all of them, or was there another one?
There is one left.
Okay, you read it.
Takahashi asks us, when do you think Owen Wilson is going to say the all-important wow?
I mean...
I have already put in my vote. I believe it'll come when he gets to ride a jet ski.
I mean, it just makes so much sense in every way, right? Like...
Chekhov's jet ski.
You
can't hang it on the wall and then not ride it.
Mm-hmm. They spend a decent chunk of like runtime talking about these jet skis and his affection for these jet skis. Just going on like, man, most of shit throughout time is pretty dumb, but jet skis, man.
for a brief moment in the early 90s.
Oh man. Yeah, it would be super fun. I really like it. He just stares off into space and he's like, yeah, so fun. Oh my god. I hope that just for the character, I want the character to get to do that. Like, whatever. Look at this guy. He's fucking been
I am endeared to Mobius. I think he's a likable personality so far in the show.
And I think that's a good move.
Probably the only likable personality besides Loki himself that we've met so far. Although we haven't gotten to know Sylvie yet.
We haven't. I do kind of like Casey, though.
Casey's all right.
He's all right. But like,
I mostly feel pity for Casey.
Yeah, that's very much true. But, you could extrapolate that and feel pity for everyone. Because they're all kind of stuck in this weird situation, but I don't feel pity for that one chick.
For that the lady, the head soldier, whatever.
Yeah,
head of the Minutemen.
Yeah, she can eat shit, but it's a thing, and it was a good move on their part to not make the TVA like totally from top to bottom. Like these are like fascist assholes, and they could have easily done that.
I like the time soldiers are called Minutemen. That's
Minutemen. Yeah.
That's a good name for it.
How do you think that a lot of people know the significance of that name?
I would imagine. It's a fairly transparent pun.
Yes.
Time, minutes.
Yes. But like the historical significance in our world of Minutemen.
No, I don't think it's super relevant. I think people are aware that a Minuteman is some kind of soldier, and that's really all they need to know.
Minutemen were civilian colonists, independently formed militia companies, self-trained and weaponry tactics. They were American colonists that could be ready for warfare in under a minute. That was the historical Minutemen in our reality. They existed. They're a thing. It was a good thing to pull. It does sound good. It's alliterative, which is Marvel AF. It's all that shit. It's fun. You have Miss Minutes. It goes with the theme. But it also has historical significance. Okay.
I like it. It's
good. This show has a lot of that, though. It has, like, this, like, kind of cute, fuzzy warmth about it. And it's not just because of the wood paneling. I swear to God. It's good.
It's all very warmly lit.
It is very warmly lit.
There's a lot of yellows and browns.
Yeah, the show has a fun aesthetic. And I was going to ask you that question. Which of the three, now that we've had the three shows, obviously Loki's not done, but that's okay. Which of the three Disney Plus shows do you think had the best episode 1?
The best episode 1?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Loki's was very strong, but Falcon and Winter Soldier started with a big action scene, and I'm an action guy.
It did.
I really liked the with Batroc the Leaper flying over the Middle East and kicking people out of helicopters. And it had Red Wing.
It did have Red Wing. You're gonna go with Falcon Bucky?
I'm gonna go just best first episode. I'm gonna go with Falcon and Bucky.
I
Best
think I
show
have to go with
overall,
Loki.
I might have a different answer, especially once Loki's finally over.
Oh yeah, certainly. I right now I have to think Loki though, just in terms of the first episode. It's just really interesting and juicy from start to finish, that episode.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of is it has a bit of the best elements of both shows. Like, WandaVision was all about weirdness and mystery.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
And that's what kept you tuning in every episode, is trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Right.
And Falcon and Bucky was just a straight-up action-adventure show.
Yeah, it was like a Captain America movie made into a series. Like
This is like 75% WandaVision's weirdness and mystery, 25% action and excitement.
And not as like abstract and whatnot as WandaVision. Like,
yeah, no.
This still obviously fits in the MCU and you know exactly what's going on, but basically you're not like you're not just thrown into the bullshit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it is still fucking weird. It's I think right now I have to go with Loki, but I hope the show continues to go well. I hope it ends well. What do we got? 4 more episodes?
Yes.
4
it's
episodes.
6 total.
I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently the first 2 episodes had went out and a lot of people like got those pre-screeners of the first 2 early. So
that does happen. The review sites get things.
Really looking forward to the 3rd episode. I can't remember, but was there any other like alleged casting things besides for girl Loki that were like
there is an old man Loki.
Okay. Is that the only other one?
That's the only other one I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing that too.
Well, I think an actor has been cast for Kang the Conqueror, but I think he was specifically cast for Ant-Man 3. I don't know if they might be keeping secret yet whether or not he's in this.
That's understandable. But again, like, I don't think that this show is going to become about Kang or anything like that. I don't know what this fucking gonna do, but I don't know. I don't think that would be how it goes. What are you Googling for over there?
I'm looking up who's playing Old Man Loki.
Okay.
It would appear to be Richard E. Grant.
Richard Grant, you say?
Yes.
Not familiar, but...
Well, let me see what he's been in.
Let me cross-reference that with Kablooey.
He was,
Oh, shit, that guy?
Yeah, he was, let's see, he was Dr. Jack Seward in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
He was in Logan.
He was in Logan.
He was. The guy was
Xander Rice. Was that the head of the... I don't know, the corporation or whatever that made the clones?
Yeah, he was the head top dude.
Right.
Very evil, villainous asshole. That guy's playing old Loki?
He's playing old Loki.
That's interesting. That's a fun casting. Okay. All right. Yeah, that guy plays evil really well, so that could be fun to see.
Apparently, he was a random general in Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
I don't know. Some member of like the First Order, one of the Imperial guys, whatever.
Oh boy.
But yeah, mostly out of this list, like the kind of movies that an MCU fan would have seen, you would know him as the bad guy in Logan.
Yes. He did a good job in that movie.
Yeah.
And
everybody did a good job in Logan. Logan is a great movie.
It is. It's a really good movie. I would really like to see that old man Loki really as be like a more like a classic comic book version of Loki, like more like more in terms of that, like the more than just he is very evil and whatnot,
like
but he's
the Loki who was once imprisoned by Odin, hanging upside down with a snake dripping poison in his eyes or whatever.
Yes, that guy. Like really, just fucking go for it.
Just the Loki that just is a villain.
Yes, do that, and that is a good casting for that. I think that guy can do it easily. I'm in. Razor, do we have anything else?
That's it for questions, but before we wrap up, I did want to address the fact that we never released our commentary for the final episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We did not. Things happened.
Right.
That's
So,
very unfortunate.
Unfortunately, that recording was lost. So I thought we could just very quickly sum up our feelings about that last episode.
Let's do that.
Do you want to go first?
I'm trying to remember now, but like my feelings for the last episode were.
So in the last episode, the Flag Smashers had taken control of that.
They did.
Well, UN Council or whatever it was,
in Manhattan and New York there, but yeah, it was some kind of.
They were going to pass a law to
What is that organization's name? They were all through the fucking show. I forgot their name.
Global something
Repatriation Council, something like that.
Yeah, like I think it was GRC.
GRC. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So they were about to pass a law that would forcibly immigrate everybody who had moved over the 5 years back to their home countries. And the Flag Smashers were trying to stop that. And then Sam was in his Captain America outfit for the first time.
He was.
And him and Bucky and Sharon showed up to stop the Flag Smashers, and Sam fought Batroc the Leaper.
He did indeed.
And then let's see, the Flag Smashers rounded up the UN, the senators and whatnot, and shoved them in the back of some trucks and drove off with them.
They did, and Bucky got a phone call.
Yes. From
Carly, but some like rando handed him a fucking cell phone. One of those people that she did like the bird call to, and
yeah,
like in Central Park. Caw-caw!
All the people who answer the phone app, yeah.
Yes.
So.
Which is important. That is that is an important piece of the plot.
John Walker showed up in the street to fight Carly.
Yes.
With his homemade shield.
And it goes well.
It actually did go pretty well for him.
Well, I mean, not the shield. The shield didn't go well for him.
No, the shield got dented and tossed aside, and
it got pretty much one shot.
Yeah. The shield did not last long, but he was winning that fight. And then one of the trucks full of people was about to go over a ledge, and he tried to stop it, but he wasn't strong enough. And then
well, no, he was strong enough. Those other bitches came and jumped on his back.
All right, he was successfully pulling it back, right. And then a bunch of the Flag Smashers started attacking him and forcing him to let go. And then Sam caught the truck with 2 Red Wings.
2 Red Wings.
He's got 2 Red Wings now.
And
which I like because I like Red Wing. And I was bummed when Carly broke Red Wing earlier in the show.
I don't think you were the only one. I think that was a universal thing that was felt around the world. Again, Wakanda tech can do anything. They're kind of a hand wavy thing at this point in the MCU. Whatever,
It's
Wakanda
fine.
tech.
It's
I can
fine.
push this truck up a fucking mountain or some shit. It's fine.
It's repulsor engines or whatever.
Of course. 1.21 gigawatts. I get it. It's fine. He does that. Sam saves the day.
Right. Sam saves the truck. They rescue the people. And then they go chasing after Carly and the other dudes who had taken the serum. And they split up and have to go two different ways. And Sam goes after Carly. Mm-hmm. And Bucky and John go after the others. And you think John is flying off the handle again, and he's going to get himself into trouble. But it turns out he does the smart thing, and he runs them right into the authorities, and they get caught and arrested.
He does. And they use that phone that they used with Bucky, that Bucky had the phone call on, to track him on the app.
A moment where he recited a quote from Lincoln or something like that.
Yes, exactly what it was. It was really weird.
But anyway, the important thing is that John Walker fully redeemed, come out looking like a good guy at the end of the episode, which I was pleased to see.
Yes, he did come out looking like a good guy. He still fucked that dude up. Okay, with the shield. He did
chop a guy's head off with a shield.
Yeah, that is the thing that's not going to go away.
That was like 2 episodes before then. Move on.
I think that was the episode immediately preceding. Was it not? I think
it was at the end of episode 4. In episode 5, Sam and Bucky beat him up and take the shield from him, and then the government un-Captain America's him, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus recruits him.
And then Sam goes back to Louisiana, and they work on the boat.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
This is the episode after that.
Right.
So Sam is still chasing Carly. Carly runs into
Sharon,
who we find out is the power broker, as we suspected. And Sharon had also hired Batroc. And so Batroc's there, and Carly's there, and Sharon's there. And does Carly shoot Batroc? Somebody shoots Batroc.
It's one of those, like, what is it called? A Mexican standoff?
Yeah. There's a Mexican standoff between the three of them, basically.
I think fucking... I don't fucking know who shoots who.
Yeah, anyway, Batroc's unfortunately dead. But at least he got to be in like more than just one movie, so he already has one up over several Marvel villains.
He does. He got a showing there.
He got a decent show.
Sharon also got shot.
Sharon gets shot. She survives though, but she uses having got shot as an excuse to shoot and kill Carly.
Right. As Carly was beating the hell out of fucking Sam. Who Sam was like, I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah, Sharon makes it seem like she's saving Sam. Right. Sam doesn't know that she's the power broker.
Indeed. No one does.
Yeah, Carly dying ensures that no one will.
And Batroc. Like, there's no witnesses, so that's cleaned up pretty well. And that's important. Yeah. Man, fucking Carly.
So Sam carries off Carly's body, goes back to the senators and the media, and he gives like a big long speech about how they need to do better about like recognizing the rights of the little people and the poor, and basically government bad.
It was a long speech.
It was a long speech. Look, my one complaint with the episode is that speech.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it's not like, look, there had to be a speech because he's Captain America now, and Captain America gives speeches. That's part of the job description.
Right.
A speech should be expected.
Right. He said the same thing like 3 times.
That speech let me just say that brevity is the soul of wit, and leave it at that.
Very much so. Very much so.
But anyway.
Yeah. We see Isaiah Bradley.
Sam is Captain America now.
He is.
Bucky went back to his the Asian guy who lives in his building, whose son he killed as the Winter Soldier, and finally confesses. So he gets his closure. And
such a weird plot point.
Right. So we see John Walker trying out a new outfit for Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh,
it's the same outfit but in black.
Yep.
It's the U.S. agent outfit.
It's the same.
and she literally says in dialogue, "We don't need a Captain America. We need a U.S. agent." And so he gets his name.
He gets his name.
I like U.S. agent.
I
was pleased with the resolution for John.
Yeah. That made me forgive a couple of other things that I wasn't so thrilled about in that episode, like Sharon.
Right.
U.S. agent, John, all that shit was
right.
good.
And the last, like the end credits scene is.
Oh, speaking of which,
Sharon being reinstated by the U.S. government, like forgiven for Civil War, and offered her job as a spy back. And then she walks out of the Senate building. And she's on the phone with somebody doing power broker stuff, and she's like, "Well, now that I work for the government, I can get you guys access to weapons and secrets."
Yeah, on the steps of his government building.
On the like 10 feet away from
walking out and be like, "Hey, we're gonna fuck all these people up and steal all this shit." Whoa, government guy, power broker.
So as I said, if I had one complaint, it's the speech. If I had two complaints, turning her evil really didn't make Sharon any more charismatic. I'm sure that's what they were hoping for. They thought Sharon Carter is a boring character. What can we do to make her interesting? They did not succeed.
No, it didn't stick. Like, it doesn't feel great.
It feels out of character compared to Sharon in her previous appearances.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they're just writing a different character for starting over from scratch.
And I don't think that that's a super rare opinion either since then.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people
and also
have that
like even if it did fit, she's still just boring.
She is.
So
it's a thing. We also saw Zemo. Zemo goes to a Wakanda.
Yes, Zemo got out the best, I would say, because so the surviving Flag Smashers who had taken the serum and were rounded up by the cops, as the cops are putting them in the back of the paddy wagon, one of the cops says, what is it, one world, one people, whatever their catchphrase is, like implying that he's on their side and is going to let them go.
Yeah.
But as the paddy wagon is driving away, it suddenly explodes and kills them all.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Zemo's butler watching it blow up from a limo. Which means that Zemo got everything he wanted.
He did. Zemo wins.
Killed the super soldiers. Did it while in jail.
Not just in jail, in the raft. Very much in the raft.
Indeed.
And boy, was I happy that those bitches got killed. Like, man, I was ready for that plot thread to end. That was a branch that I wanted to fucking trim out of the...
That's another thing. The Flag Smashers were at no point compelling villains. I would say that's really, like... I liked the show overall for, like, Sam stuff and Bucky stuff and Zemo stuff and action scenes.
And John Walker. John Walker was great.
And John Walker.
Yeah.
I love John Walker. I love U.S. Agent.
If it was just on the shoulders of the Flag Smashers...
Yeah, like, the plot... The characters were compelling, the plot and the villains were not at any point compelling.
No.
And I think that's the weak point of the show, and I think that's like WandaVision was a weird show where you're like just waiting to know what the hell's going on, and then you're expecting things to show up that never do.
Fisto.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, more straightforward, but lame villains. So far, I feel, even though we're only 2 episodes in, Loki already more compelling in almost every way than the first 2 shows.
It's you're right.
That's my overall review.
It is still very early for Loki, but yeah, like
Yeah.
across the board, it's ticking a lot of boxes, very, very strong. So hopefully it keeps going around that thing and it sticks the landing. But for Falcon Bucky, man, yeah. Oh, did you say that was your favorite one? You said that was your favorite series overall thus far.
Thus far, Loki, even
Loki
2
is.
episodes in, is my favorite series.
Oh,
My favorite first episode was Falcon and Bucky.
Okay.
My favorite first episode, because I'm comparing Loki receiving a lot of exposition. I'm comparing that to a big action scene where the Falcon flies around and fights Batroc in the air.
Right. Yes, he did. Kills lots of people.
So if it's just first episodes, I liked Falcon and Bucky better. If it's overall, I like the 2 episodes we've gotten of Loki more than the complete Falcon and Bucky.
I think after watching that finale for Falcon Bucky, I really feel like that show especially benefits from just watching it all the way through. I think having to wait and sit there with like Carly making me butt hurt, like it was bad. Like that didn't feel good. It probably would have felt way less annoying and shit if you could
honestly,
just go through it.
I will say, in terms of like the streaming culture, the argument of once a week versus binging, I think 100% of the time binging is the better way to watch a show. 1 episode a week is the better way to generate discussion for the show.
Indeed,
while it's airing.
Yeah, it is.
Which benefits Disney. It doesn't benefit me. I want to see it all right now.
It's tough because whenever I binge stuff though, like I never remember as much, and I'm never like.
I can see that. I mean, I don't have that problem because I have. I guess compared to other people, like obviously I don't know what it's like to be someone who isn't me, but I seem to get the impression when I'm talking to other people that I'm weird for having such a good memory.
Yeah.
Because I never forget stuff I watch, like, ever.
It is...
I forget the names of people right after I've met them all the time. Like, real world shit?
Real world
no
shit,
memory
no.
for it.
Mm-mm.
Stuff I've watched on TV, like a steel trap.
Yeah, there's no traction for real shit.
It took me... Every time I start a new job, it takes me 6 months to remember my coworkers' names.
It's a thing. I'm not entirely different, but my memory sucks more overall. It's not a great memory. But, man, I can remember some stupid-ass bullshit. But nothing useful ever. What? Oh, but with the week-to-week thing, like, there's also just the thing where you don't have anything else to do. So you start looking at things more.
Still time when you're bored to know that something's reliably going to be on, like, God, I have nothing to do Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, every Thursday this show, like
it's a thing. But if you go right into the next one though, there's stuff about it where it's like you're not gonna stop and talk about this aspect and speculate about this aspect because you're just gonna move ahead. But if you have to wait, then you will look at stuff like that and talk about it more. That doesn't mean that it's better. It's just a different way of doing things. And obviously, Disney wants to do it week to week so they can hold that subscription of yours for at least 6 weeks. It makes sense. They don't want you to fucking do it a trial and binging and then you're out.
Yeah, like get everything on the channel, watch it all in the first month for free, and then fuck off.
No, that ain't what they're about. And I mean,
you don't make a profit that way.
No, they want to keep your ass around, and they do. They're doing well. Mandalorian's good.
But yeah, I think the shows, like, if you watch them a second time and you binge it once they're complete, they do hold up a little better. because like with the Flag Smashers, it's like you're getting it over with faster, and with WandaVision, it's like you're not waiting quite as long for the plot to explain itself.
With WandaVision, it never really bugged me though. It's strange. I know it bugged a lot of people.
I feel like I don't dislike the first 3 episodes, but since I'm not a huge fan of like old black and white sitcoms, I was waiting for the plot to actually happen, as opposed to.
I definitely get that.
Really enjoying this homage to Bewitched.
I really just liked that scene where the fucking, the whole stop it bit, and seeing how they do those old shows, but like incorporate some uncomfortable weird shit in there.
Yeah.
And they do that for those first 3 episodes a little bit, and they
like that was the fun part of the first 3 episodes was the weird bits of like creepy pasta.
Right. Yeah. And that was the whole idea. It was like this slow, just, what's going on? It's getting weirder, a little weirder all the time.
Right. But I wasn't like super enjoying it until episode 4.
Okay.
And I think part of that is just because like
they were short episodes too.
Yeah. I think I just like, because I like the setting of the MCU. Like, when we were seeing the sword stuff, that was like, ooh, new content that's part of the MCU, as opposed to just what are the weird bubble those 2 characters are living in.
It is. And I mean, like, you and I, there's plenty of people that knows what's going on when it happens. Like, listen, this is Wanda we're talking about. Wanda does shit like this.
Yeah, it's...
You can kind of get it. But, I mean... Yes, it's not really expanding the world, but it's, it's something. It's weird.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird. Definitely Mephisto was behind it.
Look, even if they don't show Mephisto, Agatha Harkness worships Mephisto.
She do. It's a thing. And there was
witches worship the devil. You don't have to say it for it to be true.
We saw it. We got that cool fucking flashback of her killing all her mom and her coven. Fucking Shido's the Sorcerer Supreme. She had the Darkhold. World building.
Yeah, the Darkhold. That's true.
World building, but that didn't come until later when she actually
that was a little later on.
Have to tell Wanda who she is.
Right, but just so far, if I was ranking them, best to worst, Loki, Fucky, WandaVision.
Yeah, okay. For now, tentatively, I could get behind that too. That probably is the way that I'm feeling. God, I don't fucking know. I need to watch Falcon Bucky again. I liked it. I certainly liked it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm putting Fucky before WandaVision, not because I didn't like WandaVision, but because I like action more than.
Right. There was no action in that show. Like, you waited to the last episode.
That was not an action-oriented show.
And then that bitch stepped out of a Hummer and started shooting at children. Like, that was crazy.
I mean, there was briefly a fight between two visions, but they quickly settled it with their words, which I enjoyed.
As they should, yes.
That's the way a fight between two visions should go.
Indeed.
I'm just saying it was not a show about fight scenes.
Question. Man, I really did like it when Wanda tossed that car at that bitch, though. That was tight. That was super sick. Fuck, and the costume was tight. I forgot about that. Okay, actually, question. Do you think that the Nexus references in WandaVision had anything to do with the Nexus events in Loki?
No, I think Wanda is a Nexus being, whatever that might mean. That she can tap into energies from other dimensions, maybe? Something like that?
Okay.
I think that might be...
Yeah, they don't sound like the same thing.
Although, like, if Wanda's going to cause the multiverse of madness, then maybe she is a person who can cause Nexus events. Maybe they are tied together, you know?
Maybe they are.
Just not yet.
Yeah. It's a thing, like, you know, that just seems like something that is a term in there that was clear enough to make you wonder, is there a correlation? Maybe.
Indeed.
We'll see. Okay. Was that your final thoughts on Falcon Bucky?
That was my final thoughts. Yes.
Yeah. I would definitely agree. It sounds like their plan now is to do a Cap 4, right?
It does sound like that. Yes.
Okay. Which is fine. I'm cool with that. But I did like the series approach too. I'm not sure. Do you have a preference between the two styles? Would you rather the next thing be another like Falcon Bucky season, sort of? Even though it would be Captain America?
I mean, it really depends on what you're dealing with. Like with a series, you can do more character moments.
Yeah.
Like more scenes of like
on the boat,
Sam at a house talking to his sister, or like, you know. But honestly, like it's how long? So like, Fucky was 6 episodes, like 45 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
What does that come out to? The length of 3 movies?
Yeah, roughly.
It could be argued that it was, some of it was filler.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
I mean, it wasn't really, but like when they're showing the fucking Flag Smashers in their European, the place where they were squatting.
Yeah.
I didn't need that.
I mean, yeah, you could say the same about Madripoor if you really wanted to. Madripoor could have been.
Yeah, I liked
being
Madripoor.
in Madripoor, though. Yeah, that's the thing.
I like seeing Madripoor for reasons that don't involve what it contributed to the show.
Right. That's the thing.
I mean, it did give us all of the Zemo stuff, really. Especially him dancing in a club.
Dancing in a club. That was also where he put the mask on. All that shit. Yeah. Whatever, it was good. I
think the for a character like Captain America, who is generally a more action-oriented character, a movie might be better in the long run because it encourages them to make it faster paced.
I would agree.
But for most characters, I would prefer the series format.
I think the series. I think you're right about the action thing. I think the series works better for what this story actually was, with the whole like with Captain America and stuff like that. We don't have to like stop and wonder like, is he Captain America? Like we don't have that problem, so we can just go and do shit. Like this one though had that character-y exploration and decision making and whatever that used the longer form. Okay, it took a while and took him like on a fucking. He went and got to meet Isaiah Bradley, and did all this other shit. Got learned some things about himself and others, and decided to become Captain America. Now that he is Captain America, though, yeah, you could really hit the ground running with a movie and do good stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. I liked the series. It was good. It wasn't bad. But really, like
I haven't disliked any of the shows.
No. They're not bad. There's not a bad one in there, and there could be bad ones. Like it's not like for fucking stans. I'm a Marvel fanboy. Okay, that's kind of true. But there's Marvel shit out there that I don't like.
No, there's certainly. I mean, nobody's gonna say they liked Thor 2.
Yeah, it is a thing. It is funny how often that movie like is relevant to things in other movies.
It's a movie you can't avoid revisiting when you're talking about Thor and Loki.
Yeah,
because that's the one where their mom died.
Yeah, it's an important fucking situation.
It's also the one that had an Infinity Stone in it.
It did. It had the Reality Stone. And you know what? I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I really fucking don't like that movie.
I actually really like that movie. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I'm a huge fan of the character of Mantis. I'm a huge fan of Kurt Russell.
Man, this is cool.
I thought the end where Yondu dies was one of the most well done emotional moments in the whole MCU.
I don't feel like
The only time in the whole movie that I wasn't enjoying the movie was that brief moment where he turns into a giant Pac-Man for no reason.
Okay.
It was the only one.
Okay. I don't know what it was. Like I even have a hard time pinpointing what it was, but like it was the same thing with the wife. She loves Guardians of the Galaxy 1, loves it, and I mean I do too. It's a great movie, but man, as soon as the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 ended, we're like, it's kind of what the fuck happened? what why don't we feel happier about this shit? It wasn't. It just wasn't for me. I guess it's a thing. It's fine. There's lots of Marvel movies out there. You don't gotta like them all. Yeah, that's it. I like John Walker. That's my final thoughts on that show. And I'm sure that we'll be seeing... what the fuck is his grandson's name? Isaiah's?
Eli.
Elijah, Patriot.
Yep, Patriot.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be seeing that guy. And their whole handling of Isaiah was really good at the end there too.
Yeah. I liked how they did Isaiah.
Yeah, they did Isaiah super nice. Got him on the fucking in the museum shit alongside Cap and the Howling Commandos and all that shit.
They did put him in the museum at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the museum bit felt slightly rushed. Like, I feel like if somebody revealed the secret 50s Captain America, there should have been, like, a quick scene of, like, the media reacting.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, news reporters talking about it and debating on fucking talk radio or whatever.
Yeah, that would definitely be a talking point for a lot of people. And that would...
I would have done, like, one short scene of that, otherwise not changed anything.
And, I mean, this just comes with a lot of implications, like... The government was not cool with showing this shit, and they are now. So, like, there's a lot of conversation to be had there.
Maybe they walk out of the museum and there's a bunch of reporters who want to talk to Isaiah, and he's uncomfortable with the attention. I don't know.
It could be a thing, but like, yeah. But in general, that they did Isaiah nice. That was good. And John Walker was good, and Zemo was good. That's it. That's my thoughts on Falcon Bucky. I'm sorry I lost the fucking actual one, people. You're gonna have to deal with it. Bear with me. That's all I got.
Indeed.
That's all you got, too?
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, like I said, ask us questions for the next one. If you're not on the Discord, ask it on YouTube. I'm on there. I'm on the YouTubes. I might even see your comment on the YouTubes. Use the YouTubes.
I have a computer with access to the internet.
I have the World Wide Web. I will find you.
I too use the YouTubes. How do you do, fellow kids?
We're not. Yeah. Shut up. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Don't forget your fucking tickets. Bye, everybody.
See you later, nerds.